longer. What is going on? Is this like a karaoke video?
The clock gets to be such a bore. What you living for? I can't explain being insane. Just a dream of your life to go fly past mountains. See more the frog and old fountain. She'll be there in her golden frog. Sequin uniform golden. She'll be trained human clowns. Who will do perform balancing books with their heads. Trying to recall what they've said. Past the gate you will soon be in. A God paradise, don't be late there. The shining jewels sparkle in your eyes are waiting there for your pleasure. What's keeping you from this treasure?
Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gibber in the wabe. All mimsy were the burrows, and the moon wraths upgrabe.
The Jabberwocky.
Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, claws that catch. Beware the Jub bird and shun, the Frummious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, rapture stay, Kaloo-Kalay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brig, and the slimy toves did gyre and gimber in the wabe. Oh, mimsy were the burrows, and the moon wraths outgrabe.
That word, when I flip it, hit me right between the eyes more than that light. It is it's a hard stuff. I can smell hard up there. Now, by that, it's gonna be in the
That's interesting. Okay, so Ambrosia is a band. Okay, and hold on, before we get to that. Ah! Okay, like crashing here. Okay. Let's talk about Ambrosia, the album by Ambrosia. Okay? Not everybody knows what that was. So it was released in 1975. It was they set the lyrics of Kurt Vonnegut's Cat Cradle. It was Alan Parsons was an engineer on it. We had Nice Nice, Very Nice, Time Waits for No One, Holding On to Yesterday, World Leave Me Alone, Make Us All Aware, Lover Arrive, that was Mama Frog, and then Drink of Water. So on that we had David Pack, Christopher North, Joe Puerta on bass, and Burley Drummond. Okay, then we had additional musicians on violin, synthesizer, and the mixing by Alan Parsons. I don't know why this was put in the same line as the Linda Ronstadt. Please don't do that. Don't think, oh, I'm giving $35, so I'm going to get 2 songs for one. Just give me 15 and give me 20. And then put one on each one. Don't give me 35 and give me 2 unrelated things. It's very complicated. Thank you very much. Just or give me 35 and a tip and then split it on a line and say 15, 20. Okay, I'll figure it out. Because I would like to have just clicked on that link and known a little bit about that before I clicked on it. I thought it was something to do with Linda Ronstadt. It had nothing to do with Linda Ronstadt. And it was put on the same line on my list. Look how confusing this is. Don't know much with Linda Ronstadt and Mama Frog by Ambrosia. Why? And then it's like, as for Ambrosia, this was from their debut album in 1975. Oh, it's $40. Even better. 40, say 20, 20. Put in 2 lines. Please, please. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Now I will edit, because I have one clip running right now. And so now I'm going to have to like edit, which is fine. I edit anyway, sometimes, whatever. So yeah, Ambrosia was like, I did not expect that. But I do know the Jabberwocky poem because it's a classical setting. There's a vocal setting of the Jabberwocky that people would always perform in our music school. Okay. And I'll just play you the very beginning of it. It's very creepy, but I had heard the Jabberwocky before. So when they started talking about the Jabberwocky, I'm like, oh, I know about the Jabberwocky. I mean, any literate person should know about the Jabberwocky. It's a very famous poem. But this was the setting we heard in music school.
Was brillig, and all the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe.
Anyway, this is the Jabberwocky that we listened to in music school. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I know. It's like, how does she have such a weird knowledge of music? I know this random 20th century setting of the Jabberwocky, but I don't know Linda Ronstadt. Okay, so check it out. This is called Jabberwocky for Bass, Baritone, and Woodwinds by Elliot Goldenthal, 1975. All right. So it was a modern classical 20th century setting of the Jabberwocky, and it's done a lot at like bass baritone recitals. I mean, they also like to sing Erlkonig. Have you guys heard Erlkonig? We did a lot of freaking Erlkonig in school. Okay, this is the Erlkonig. Schubert.
Wer reitet so spät durch Nacht und Wind? Es ist der Vater mit seinem Kind. Er hat den Knaben wohl in die Hand. Er fasst ihn sicher, er hält ihn warm. Mein Sohn, was birgst du so bang dein Gesicht? Siehst Vater du den Erlkönig nicht? Den Erlenkönig mit Kron und Schweif. Mein Sohn, es ist ein Nebelstreif. Du liebes Kind, komm, geh mit mir, gar schöne Spiele spiel ich mit dir. Manch bunte Blumen sind an dem Strand, meine Mutter hat manch gülden Gewand. Mein Vater, und hörst du nicht, was Erlenkönig mir leise verspricht? Sei ruhig, bleibe ruhig, mein Kind, in dürren Blättern säuselt der Wind. Willst, feiner Knabe, du mit mir gehen? Meine Töchter sollen dich warten schön, meine Töchter führen den nächtlichen Rhein. Sie wiegen und tanzen und singen dich ein, sie wiegen und tanzen und singen dich ein. Mein Vater, und siehst du nicht bald Erlkönigs Töchter an diesem Ort? Mein Sohn, ich sehe sehr nah, es scheinen die alten Weiden so Ich liebe dich, mich reizt deine schöne Gestalt, und bist du die König, so brauch ich Gewalt. Mein Vater, jetzt fass mich an, Erlkönig hat mir ein Leid getan. Vater, er reitet geschwind, er hält in Armen das ächzende Kind. Erreicht den Hof mit Mühe und Not. In seinen Armen das Kind war tot.
So that's Erlkonig. So Erlkonig is a Schubert song. It's very famous. We like listened to it in music school a lot, whatever. It's a really good example of the piano telling the story along with the singer. Okay? Because you hear the they're like riding on a horse, okay? So the piano and the singer in collaboration are creating the story. Okay, so it's an example of the collaborative piano being a real part of the romantic songwriting. Okay, so that's why like Erlkonig is so important. To me, it really reminds me a lot of Jabberwocky in the sense of it being like this monster story. So I figured, well, if you guys are listening to this 1975 progressive rock version, and then you're gonna be like, oh my God, they set the Jabberwocky. And then it's like, well, they also did it in classical music. And then it's like, there's been so many settings at the Jabberwocky. But then I was like, well, you guys know about Erlkonig? Because Erlkonig is like this monster dude. He's this scary monster thing. And the son's like, my father, I see this monster. And the father's like, oh, nonsense. There's nothing. It's like seeing the monster under your bed kind of thing. And so anyway, that's what is going on that. Hold on. Let's see. So anyway, check out Erlkonig by Schubert. I sing a bunch of Schubert songs. Oh my God, I have to find my version of Du bist die Ruhe, der Friede mit, du Sehnsucht, du und was dich steht. Ich feite dir, letzte Lied war neueste Suppression. Du, 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 du. Mein Gott ist Herz, mein Gott ist Herz. No, somewhere I have my Schubert. Oh, I know what I did. I did the entire Seit ich ihn gesehen, glaub ich blind zu sein. Du, 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 du. Where's my... This is me. Seit ich ihn gesehen, glaub ich blind zu sein. Wo ich ihn nur blicke, seh ich ihn allein, wie morgen Traube, schwebt sein Bild mir vor, taucht das tiefste Dunkel heller sonst ist Licht und farblos alles um mich her. Nach beschließten Spiele nicht begehr ich mehr, möchte lieber weinen, still im Kämmerlein, seit ich ihn gesehen, glaub ich blind zu sein. So that was from my senior recital. It was Robert Schumann. It's called Frauenliebe und Leben. It's an 8-song song cycle. That's called Seit ich ihn gesehen, which is the first time I saw him. It's like, seit ich ihn gesehen, glaub ich blind zu sein. From when I first saw him, I was blind. And it's a little bit criticized by modern writers because it's about a woman's life, but it's from the song. The cycle begins when she meets a man and the cycle ends when her husband dies. So there's a little bit of criticism that the woman's life and love only begins when she finds her husband, and then the song cycle ends when he dies. So it's a little bit from male perspective, but it's a beautiful song cycle. Now, sadly, I don't have a video of me performing it. Sad story, but my dad was late to that recital because of traffic in Los Angeles. So my mom left really early that day. And she's like, I'm going to leave early. I'm going to leave at noon. I'm just going to get there early and just not worry about it, whatever. And he was like, oh, I'll leave whatever the afternoon. It shouldn't be bad, whatever. But then Los Angeles traffic was really bad and he had all the recording equipment. So we only have video recordings, I think, of the second half of the recital, but I sang the Schumann in the first half of the recital. So I don't have a video. I only have the audio recordings of my recordings of that, sadly. So it's okay. I guess what I've learned from that is never rely on anyone else to do anything for you. Like if you want the recording of it, you have to get your own camera. And that's why I have some recordings from my stuff I did in Greece and Germany, because the program I sang in was not super organized. And so I brought my own tripod, I brought my own extra recording device. And because of that, I have recordings from Greece and Germany, which I also recorded the other singers and they were so grateful. So ever since then, I've just learned you just have to be responsible. And if I didn't make my own recordings, then I just may not have it. So luckily I had a professional recording engineer for the sound at that recital. And so I have the entire recital in audio, which is pretty good. So I do the entire song cycle and then I sing some Mozart arias, some French arias. It was my senior recital. You have to give a recital to get a music degree. I have a bachelor's of music performance and classical voice. So anyway, but my father was generally there for recording everything else in my life. It just also shows you can never rely on the Los Angeles traffic. Okay. That's the real story here. You must assume that Los Angeles could have traffic at any time and everything could get really bad and could take 3 times the amount you expect it. So never run anything last minute. Like never be like, oh, I'll get there, whatever. You just have to get there when you get there. So I do not have a video of me singing that cycle, but that's okay. But my voice is not as good now because I've had vocal cord damage. So, but it's okay. I think the recordings sound pretty good. Seid ihr hingesehen, glaub ich blind zu sein. But I have most of my other recordings thanks to my dad. I do want to point out. You know how you guys were like, oh my God, you have the recording of the 6th grade thing and the 9th grade thing and whatever. That was all my dad's doing. So I'm very thankful to have those. And he was mostly very, very, very reliable. Actually, in the funny part, I just want to do a sidebar on that. My brother actually had to be the cameraman. So my dad brought all the equipment, but then starting when I was in The Sound of Music, or maybe even before I was in The Sound of Music, he had my little brother, who's 2 years younger than me, had to be the designated cameraman. So my parents would sit in the audience and he had my little brother do the recording. So same at that recital, my brother was with him and he's like, all right, you're going to record a recital now. So it's actually my brother, I have 3 brothers, but one of my brothers that was my dedicated cameraman for many of my performances. So it's actually really funny. So it was a family effort. That's what I'm saying. It took the entire family. It was a family affair. And my mom always was there. And my dad, they're married. They just drove separately. They're married, but they drove separately. So my mom came early and my dad came late, but that's okay. Maybe he was working or something. I don't know. But thank God I hired the audio engineer for the concert hall who recorded the most beautiful recordings from that recital. And somewhere I have them on YouTube actually as a video where I put a slideshow on it. So you guys can listen to it. So yes, my brother has done a great job. He recorded the Sound of Music videos because he was the cameraman. Okay. Well, this was a fun live stream today. I got done many reactions. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this video has been really long because it was the Linda Rodstadt. That will be separated into a pops thing. And then I'll do the one of the Jabberwocky with that progressive rock one about the Jabberwocky. That will be connected to the Jabberwocky classical and then the Erlkonig. And then that Erlkonig Schubert made me think of Schumann and my own. So that's going to all be one video tied together, which was kind of Jabberwocky brought me to Erlkonig, which brought me to myself. So, but I am going to end the stream, but I'm going to make this video members only for the $5 level. I'll put it on Patreon as well. And then I'm going to chop up the individual videos and put those out as regular reactions on my regular release calendar. Okay. So these will be out, but if you're a Patreon member or a YouTube, not the basic one for $2, but the middle one. Okay. I have to raise my children. That's what I do. I don't have handouts or whatever. I don't think I deserve anything. I just work hard and I put the time in and I just try to be real and honest, and I just try to be real, and that's why I don't always like everything. And sometimes I straight up hate something, and sometimes it's just because I'm in a bad mood. But I think that's fair, and I think it's good that we talk about moods because I suffer from depression sometimes, and you can see it from my channel a year ago. I was a little bit more depressed, and I straight up had a really bad breakup like 2.5 years ago, and I was so devastated. I wrote like 7 songs about it. I mean, I waited 6 months to see if I would feel better after the breakup, but then I didn't. And so then the only way I could cope about 6 to 8 months later was to write 7 songs about that relationship. And then that's how I got to this YouTube channel, because I was trying to promote that music on TikTok. And then I was like, oh, I should probably have YouTube. And then I started doing music reactions, and I realized I could actually bring some value to the conversation around music and bring people together. And it's just kind of all has come around, but I do want to keep writing songs. And I actually had like 5 more songs based on that relationship, but then I got over it, if that makes sense. Like I was like not upset anymore. And so I was like, do I really want to write these? I think, do I really want to release these? And I kind of do. I just don't want him to think, I don't want him to get the ego gloat of like, oh, she still thinks about me. I don't really, but they're really good songs and they might help someone else. But I do have 5 more songs written about that relationship that I do want to release. And so hopefully now that I can get to a steady stream of, income, plus if I have my Patreon and my YouTube members that are kind of my number one fans, then I already have a built-in fan base. And then they're like going to help promo me. And don't forget, if you're in the Los Angeles area, my band is going to perform at the Venice West on Saturday, June 6th. And it'll be a daytime show of Grateful Dead stuff. And then if you're in Ventura County, we're going to perform on June 5th at the Garage Bar Ventura. And then on June 7th, Sunday afternoon at the Oxnard, we're going to be at the Shores or something like that. And then, it's like some Oxnard restaurant. It's on our website, One Man Gone, so you can check that out. And I'll record those performances, of course, as well. I plan to be in Las Vegas for the Fish Sphere weekend 1 and probably weekend 2, or at least part of weekend 2. Some random things are happening, like my son has a regatta, and then the band is going to play a gig, and I don't think I can go to that gig, and just a lot is going on. It's a really busy time of year with the kids. The year-end stuff gets crazy. There's so many recitals. My son has all these competitions for rowing. My daughter's in a play that's going to perform 15 shows in May. So I'm just like stretched really thin right now. And I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm here on my little spring break vacation. I've been enjoying the last 4 days off. That's why you haven't seen anything published. But today I decided I'm just going to do one long recording session to get some new content out there for you all. But I did get to take off Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Oh, today's Tuesday. I took off Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Didn't do any YouTube videos. And I was so refreshed and felt so great and just enjoying that like luxury hotel life. And it was funny because last night I was going to my brother's house, and so I was leaving the hotel to go get him flowers to bring to him and his wife and his. They have 2 babies, and as I was leaving the hotel, I'm like, why are all these tall guys waiting to get into the elevator? Get out of my way, whatever. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's an NBA basketball team. And it was the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're staying in my hotel. And I was just like, who are these guys? Get out of my way. Whatever. I like didn't even like acknowledge. I'm like, who are all these guys blocking I'm trying to get out of the elevator. Why are they just all like huddling around the elevator trying to get up to their rooms? I was just like, oh, it's an NBA team. Whatever. Do you know who I am? I'm Erica Reacts. I have Yoshi dolls. Just joking. But it's just kind of funny. All right. This was a really fun stream. This is going to get onto members only. So, all right. I got to go, guys. Bye.